position to win. In a position to go. In a position to win. In a position to go. In a position to win. In a position to go. In a position to win. In a position to go.
What's up, everyone? You already know. It's been a long time coming. How many weeks has it been? It's been 3 weeks?
Three.
Yeah,
Too long.
Too long.
Yeah.
Too long, and a lot has happened. So, you're watching DVU Overtime. I'm your host, Dan Corbett. We got Tommy to my right. We got Shane to my left. And then to my other left, we got Justin. We here. We're going to bring y'all news. So, let's get started. Bruh. For the past 3 weeks, it's like everything is happening. Everything is happening in the NFL. Everything. Trades, signings, whatever. And I think the most surprising signing was OBJ to the Browns. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did, especially after their GM said that specifically they didn't sign him to an extension or a 5-year extension to trade him. It's just, I feel like, we're getting out of once January and February pass and then March, there's not too much going on until the basketball. Well, I take that back. March is when things start to go on, when you have February where you just have the Super Bowl, or January where you just have the Super Bowl. In February, not too much is going on other than, really spring training and baseball, and then, basketball's kind of in the middle of the league, and so is hockey. But now things are getting interesting. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, man. OBJ, Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Baker Mayfield. Come on, and that's David Njoku. Like
I don't get why there's so much hype around
what?
Njoku. I don't think he's that good. I had him on fantasy. I had him on fantasy last year. He really didn't do anything too impressive.
So much potential. It's like when Eric Ebron first came into the league, he didn't produce right away, but he had so much potential.
Was he a rookie last year or second year?
Second year.
Njoku?
Oh, Njoku?
I think it was second year. Yeah.
Njoku has so much potential.
Yes, he does.
He's such a physical specimen.
He wasn't bad. Like, he was a decent tight end, but he never did.
He shows flashes.
I hear a lot of hype around him, though.
He shows flashes, and the hype you hear is just because he's just so physically gifted for the position. Is that when he comes into his own, he's going to be one of the best tight ends in the league. So,
well, the Cleveland Browns definitely have a lot of weapons.
Yes,
Baker Mayfield specifically has a lot of weapons to work with. I know Kareem Hunt. I don't know if he can, repeal his suspension, but I think he got 7 games for 7.
Yeah, 8 games.
8 games.
If he appeals it, he might get it down to like 6.
Yeah,
maybe. So regardless, he's going to be out for a portion of the season. But you have Nick Chubb, you have who's 29 on the Duke Johnson Jr. They have the other weapons that they could work with. I'm really curious. And when it comes to the Browns, I either think, I was telling Dan this earlier, they're going to be a 10-11 win playoff team, or they're just going to be a dumpster fire, and there's no in between with them. I don't see them going 8-8. I see this either working beautifully or not working at all. And Freddie Kitchens, we don't really have much of a resume of him other than the Browns finished the season strong. There's no doubt Baker Mayfield played the second half of the season a lot stronger than the first half and broke rookie records for passing touchdowns. But I'm really curious to see how this works because they really have it put together. Their defense is – we didn't even get to their defense yet.
Exactly.
They have Nick Chubb. They just got Vernon. Bradley Gilbert, is that the corner's name that they drafted last year? Ward. Denzel Ward. I'm sorry. Denzel Ward is who they drafted last year. They have decent players, so I guess we'll see what happens. I'm really curious, and definitely you could tell Browns' viewership is going to be a lot higher this year than it has been in years past.
I mean, me personally, I think it all comes down to Baker and what he does. You got to remember, yes, last year was his rookie year, and usually young quarterbacks have that slump, or young players have that slump in the second year. So I think it all comes down to how he looks at his second year, what he does, and if he does. I mean, I don't think he needs to do great. As long as he just does his job, everything should run smoothly. But I hear the talks of people saying, yeah, they're going to the Super Bowl next year. They're going to I don't think that's going to happen next year, but it's a possibility.
It's not crazy to say they can win the division, though. It's not crazy to say. Their division, I don't know what the Bengals is a team I've been following very closely because they just obviously fired Marvin Lewis after
thank God
my life. After all of my lifetime of having him coach there, they finally fired him. And they brought in somebody new, but they got to decide what direction they're going to go in, if they're going to scrap it all down or if they're just going to try to put something together here. I'll come back to the Bengals, but yeah, the Steelers, as we know, no Le'Veon, no AB, which I feel like in a way might help them. I feel like that might help them, but I still don't know. With Ben Roethlisberger, you can never rule them out. I could see them winning the wild card, and I could see them just missing the playoffs, but I don't know where they're going to fall. But we can agree the Browns are, on paper, a better team.
On paper.
And then the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not sold on the Baltimore Ravens, and I don't think that Lamar Jackson is going to be very good.
I'm sold on him. I am sold on
I think when you looked at that San Diego playoff game last year, San Diego gave the entire NFL a blueprint of how to stop this guy.
Well, I don't
stop that offense.
You can't replicate that defense.
Yeah, you
They
can't.
didn't have any linebackers. They just played all safeties.
seven corners.
They just played all safeties and corners in the box.
And the thing about that is that you saw it even in the fourth quarter. Is that when John Harbaugh opened the playbook up, I feel like Harbaugh's scared to let Lamar Jackson just play some football. He's trying to confine him to just running the ball and doing all these option plays and short, quick passes. When he opened that playbook up and he just let them play football, we saw a lot better. We saw a much better Lamar Jackson. We saw a much better Ravens offense. And the Ravens defense is good. They have a good defense to build on.
Always good.
I think if John Harbaugh just calms down and he lets Lamar Jackson play football, gives him the spring, he has the spring to work, he has the whole summer to work and training camp to work as a starter. I think if he gets comfortable with that playbook and gets comfortable with Lamar Jackson as his starting quarterback, I think the Ravens can do some damage.
I think you're definitely right with that, with him being a full starter for a full offseason. That's definitely going to help him, but I just think he's too one-dimensional the way he plays. His accuracy is not good, and if you take away his running ability, and if they get behind, say, double-digit points, and he has to win that game with his arm, I can't see him doing it. And accuracy, as we've seen over years and years and years, is not something that an NFL quarterback just picks up. You're either coming to the league and you're accurate, or you're coming to the league and you're not, and it's very, very rarely does it change. Some of his throws he threw last year were just like where I don't even know where he was throwing. And you can't be a successful quarterback in the NFL if that's how you throw the football. We've seen it time after time.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm sold on Baltimore, but they do pose a bigger threat than the Steelers in my eyes.
Yeah.
Their defense, they just picked up Earl Thomas, who, yes, he is injury prone, but he's a pretty good replacement for Eric Weddle. And yes, they gave up C.J. Mosley, but I still think that defense can do something next year. And
Suggs went to Arizona.
and Suggs leaving. But then again, he is getting old, so that's not. I'm not really pressed about that.
He's just signed his farewell contract,
Yeah.
and he's going to ride to the sunset. But he's still a good player. I mean, he
is.
whoever's coming in for him probably is not as good as he was. But.
I mean, it comes with time, and I feel like that's what Lamar Jackson needs. Because just like with Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson only started for a half a season, maybe even less than that. And I think even in that game against San Diego, it wasn't just that he couldn't get the ball downfield or he was doing that. It was more of the mental mistakes, whereas he couldn't catch the snap. And that happened 3 times, or fumbling without someone even trying to tackle him or touch him. Mm-hmm. So I think when he gets those jitters out, and once he gets his mental straight, I think he'll be okay. Now, I'm not saying that, he's going to be
Well, he has to, or he's not going to be in the league a long time if he doesn't. If those are mistakes that never go away.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the mental thing. So I think he's going to do. Let me not say well, but I think he's going to definitely play better than he did this past year. Because after all, he's learning a new offense, and like you said, John Harbaugh has to change that offense to make it him. If you look at the plays that he ran with Lamar, most of the plays were just, okay, we're just going to put you out there, basically wildcat. Mm-hmm. That's basically what they ran for him. And if I'm any opposing team and I see Lamar Jackson out there, and I was used to seeing Joe Flacco, and I watch film for Joe Flacco, and I see Lamar Jackson out there, I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to run the ball with Lamar. They're definitely going to do an option or a jet sweep. So I got something for that, and that's what San Diego did. So do I think that defensive scheme will work again? Maybe, maybe not. In my eyes, to be honest, no. I don't think it's going to work again. I think it all has to do with mental. So once he gets that situated, I think he's going to
The signing of Mark Ingram though is going to help him out a ton. Helps out the whole offense a ton because now, like in the offseason, Lamar Jackson doesn't have to worry about having his own number called on running plays 90% of the time or whatever it was. Like they can hand it off to Mark Ingram and he can really just focus on being a true quarterback now.
I think what's going to hurt him too is 2 departures that they've had is his 2 top receivers last year. John Brown and Crabtree are both gone.
Yeah,
so
they need to address that receiver position, or else they're setting him up to.
And that just goes to back to what I was saying before. If you make him one-dimensional, if they take away the running game, if the team doesn't allow him to run the football, which I'm not saying every defense could, but when you get to the playoffs, all those defenses are capable of doing something like that. And if he has to win a game with his arm, it's just going to be like the playoff game last year. I can't see him doing it. And let's be honest, that game shouldn't have been close at the end. That should have just been a blowout from the beginning. They had a couple fluke miracle plays that made them, I think, within a touchdown or maybe 10 points with a few minutes left. But it should never have even been that close. They got dominated just from the get-go.
Well, you got to look at the defense. Both defenses played extremely well.
Yeah.
If you look at the Chargers defense was just pressuring the mess out of Lamar Jackson to the point where, like I said, he was making mental mistakes. And the same thing was on for Baltimore against Phillip Rivers. Like you saw Phillip Rivers missing throws to Mike Williams, to missing throws throws that he makes 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And so again, you got to. It was the defense. The defense was helping that, but again, it all comes down to mental. And I think Lamar Jackson, if he just focuses on just play football, I think if John Harbaugh, like you said, Justin, if he opens the playbook but make it more versatile to the point where defenses don't even know if he's going to pass or run, then maybe things can happen. But again, it is bad that it is not a bad move, but I think it is harmful that they did lose their 2 receivers.
It's definitely going to make a difference. But I just want to flip back to just staying in that division to the Bengals, because like I said earlier, they just brought in a new head coach, and they really have to make a decision. Are we going to scrap this down, or are we going to try to roll with this? Because you have AJ Green in his contract year, which there has been rumors that this offseason could be one where they send him away and try to get draft picks. And when it comes to Andy Dalton, I don't know what you do with Andy Dalton anymore. He is just a borderline middle of the road quarterback that you could win with if he was on a rookie deal and if you could put a team around him. But when he's making as much money as he is, I just, for the life of me, I cannot see them putting a Super Bowl contending team around him. And I think the longer that they ride with Andy Dalton, I think the longer they're just wasting their time, to be honest. And if I was a Bengals fan, I would have been sick of. I'm not even a Bengals fan, and I'm sick of Andy Dalton. If I was actually a fan, I would have been sick of him 4 years ago. So
Andy Dalton's that guy that's just like number 16 out of 32.
Yeah,
starting
exactly. That's right. How they
number 16 out of 32.
But they're paying him like a front end quarterback, where it's like I don't think they're paying him tremendously. I don't know his contract details specifically, but I know it's too much. Whatever the numbers are, it's too much because he shouldn't. Like I just said, they can't. I can't see them putting a qualified Super Bowl contending team around him where you could look at that roster top to bottom and say, wow, this team has a chance.
To be honest, I would have. I don't think he will be a starter anymore. To be honest, I think he'll be a great backup, but he with him, he's like a roller coaster, because there were some years where they went 6-0, 5-0, and people were like, "Oh yeah, the Bengals are here this season," and then something happens, and then they just fold, literally. And I think AJ Green, I don't know what he's gonna do, because you don't really hear about him like that. You hear is stats. You hear him making plays, scoring touchdowns, making incredible catches.
Now he's getting to 30 years old. He's not young anymore.
Exactly.
He just does it so quietly.
He is a very humbled receiver. That's what I like a lot about him. But like I said, he's not 25 flashy. Well, he's still a great player. We can all agree with that. But he's not 25 and flashy where, okay, we can get a first-round pick from him. He's 30 years old and on an expiring contract. So I don't know what the asking price or the bargain price would be for him. I'd imagine it would be probably a third to lower round pick if the Bengals are just looking to send him away and just try to get anything back for him, because he could just walk this free agency, and I don't think they'll be looking to re-sign him. I'm really curious where that is going to go. And I just pulled up Andy Dalton's stats here. I mean, he's really just the definition of mediocre. I mean, the best season he had was 2013. He had 33 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. I mean, and then the second best season, if I'm looking here, last season he had 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I mean, that's Sam Darnold numbers. I mean, just mediocre. 2012 he had 27 touchdowns with 16 interceptions. I mean, he is just the middle of the pack quarterback that is just not going to get you to where you want to be as an organization. But we do know Cincy and how they run that organization over there, and it doesn't surprise me that he's been on the roster almost 9 years now. But like I said, you just can't. I don't see it. You cannot win with him. I just don't see you winning with him. Maybe if like a contending team right now, their quarterback goes down and wanted to maybe pull a trade for Andy Dalton before the deadline. If the Bengals are even looking to shop him, maybe that's an option. But
they're not.
He's not winning with the Bengals. He's not.
They're not looking to shop him. They're gonna treat him like Carson Palmer. They're gonna keep him there until he gets old, and then they're gonna be like, they're just gonna say, next, literally next.
But they're just wasting their time now because this next upcoming NFL draft has some, with Tao and some other quarterbacks. Yes. I know the Clemson can't qualify, but what's the word? Go into the draft, but. They're just wasting their time. They've been chasing their own tail for the last 4 years when it comes to that team. I just want to get that off my chest.
Oh, no.
And segue into the fact that if the Jets are listening, make an offer for A.J. Green because that would make me so happy. So happy.
Well, since we're doing that, if the Colts are listening, make an offer.
Mike McCagnon, if you're out there.
Please make an offer for A.J. Green or for Des Bryant.
I mean, speaking of the Jets, can we talk about Le'Veon?
Yeah, definitely. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating. All right, because
this dude was all in for Le'Veon.
I said it on my snap. I was gonna do something that I usually don't do. I was wrong. I said we was gonna get Le'Veon or we was gonna get AB, and look, we ain't get either. So I was wrong. But then again, I do like Le'Veon on the Jets. I think he's going to help Sam Darnold out tremendously. The only thing is, what are you going to do if Le'Veon has an off game? Like, honestly,
an off game?
I mean, as a Jets,
not a
as a Jets fan,
an off game for Le'Veon though, because
an
off game for Le'Veon.
What you have to understand is he's gonna get his 20 touches a game.
Oh yeah.
He's going to get at least 13. I would say he's going to get 13 handoffs, and he's going to get the ball thrown to him in the flat or downfield, or not downfield, but in the flat or to move the chains. Probably average 7 times a game he's going to get a pass thrown to him. So, yeah, he might have an off game, but, it's not like Todd Gurley we saw in the Super Bowl or not in the Super Bowl, but in the NFC Championship where he barely touched the ball. He's going to get his touches. So he's going to get his touches. So it's it's what he makes of it, but as a Jets fan, I'm prone to be negative in a lot of aspects of the team, and I really liked the signing. It was a good signing, and I was a lot happier with the signing when I found out the actual money that he was making. He's only making $13.5 million as opposed to the projected $18 million that they thought teams would dish out to him per year, which is huge. Yeah, which he wanted. Well, he said he was a $20 million a year running back, but that's what he wanted. But the Jets still have a lot of voids to fill. I mean, their offensive line, they just traded for Osemele from the Raiders, who's a Pro Bowl guard, or a Pro Bowl tackle, who would really help their offensive line, but they don't have a center. You can't have their right tackle, Brian Winters, playing anymore. He's just not a serviceable lineman. They need, and then, how giddy can I get about the Le'Veon trade when their offensive line needs so much help? And not only that, a lot of their team needs so much help. A.J. Green, I think if they pulled for that, would help their offense tremendously with that. That would take their wide receiver group from a B- to an A, definitely. And I can see them, honestly right now, I'd see them going 8-8 next year. I see them just missing the playoffs, and then perhaps the year after that is when they finally take that step forward. I think that's what we're looking at. Unless they pull a trade for an A.J. Green, unless they can do something crazy and pull in a big edge rusher or something like that. I heard, if you want to transition into this, that the Broncos actually kind of are listening to offers for Von Miller.
Oh my goodness!
They want to clear up that. They want to clear up that cap space. So I don't know if it's written in sand that they're shopping Von Miller, but I heard that they are listening to offers. And if the Jets have the cap space, if they can pull, because the way I look at it is the four most important positions on the football field is quarterback. You need a corner, you need good linebackers, and you need an edge rusher. You need someone to get after the quarterback. And I think if you brought Von Miller, it would have an effect similar to what Khalil did in Chicago next year. And I think it could bring the team from 8 wins up to 10 or 11 wins just from having a dominant edge rusher like that.
Or he could come to the Colts.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you knew that was coming. Think about it. Listen. I do. I can't help it. But I mean, since we're talking about signings,
I think you're just jinxing it at this point. You should just keep your mouth shut.
No, I'm not jinxing it. You never know. I mean,
money. You don't spend a dime.
I mean, the Mets right now, they don't spend anything.
Yeah, I don't.
At least the cap carries over. That's the only good part.
That's true.
But I mean, if we're talking about signings, I know the Colts just signed Justin Houston. I'm a little iffy on that.
He's 32.
But yeah, because he's old. And he can still produce. But the last time we got
he's 30 years old.
He is a beast. But the last time we got somebody who was like Tom Ali is old.
Yeah.
But last time we got a good defensive end who was known for really cracking quarterbacks was from the Eagles, and his name was Trent Cole, and that didn't end so well. The relationship went sour. It really did. So I don't know what to think of Justin Houston. I just think he's there to, like I said before, provide veteran leadership to our young defense, because our defense is really young. I want to say the average age of our defense is probably 26, because we got rookie corners. We have a third year. Well, he's going into his third year safety, and we're just young. So I mean, I'm not. That's why I'm saying I'm not really. If I'm, but I'm not mad. But adding Von Miller to that lineup changes everything, because now come on.
It would change everything for every team. But
hey man, I'm telling you, it would change.
I think you should be a little. I think you should be a little more optimistic than you are. I mean, he played 12 games last year and registered 9 sacks in 12 games. So if he could give you a full season, that's
the thing.
We could assume he's a 10-sack player. If he's 30 years old, I thought he was 32. So I thought, there's a big difference between linebackers that just turned 30 and that are turning 33. There's a big difference in those years. So I think you should be a little more optimistic. I mean, he's a good player. Was he the player that, 22 sacks?
Exactly.
Forgot about that.
You saw,
Forgot about that. I mean, obviously he's not that player anymore, but Also, a point I was trying to get to is his leadership qualities too. When you're bringing in not only a good player but a great leader, and that's going to help the locker room and the defense as well. I mean, this is a guy that's going to walk in the locker room and he doesn't need to prove anything. Yeah. People know how good he is, so he's gonna what's the word I'm looking for? Make that defense more of a unit and play together, and potentially and hopefully hope the Colts win some ball games.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm not getting my hopes up, because the last time I got my hopes up was when we went to the AFC Championship, and then you saw what we did the year after that.
Now when you won 9 straight football games last year to make the play.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. But I mean, yeah, my hopes were high, but I kept it realistic. But that time, I don't know, I wasn't realistic. I was like, yeah, we're going to do. I sounded like a Dallas Cowboy fan. We're going to do Super Bowl. We're going to win. So, but yeah, I'm just. Like I said, let's just see what happens. Let's just see.
Dave just has to get his shots at the Cowboys every single.
Yeah, sometimes little shots, but other than that, speaking of since we talked about one ex-Steeler leaving and going to signing to another team, we got to talk about the elephant in the room.
Mr. Big Chest.
Yep, Mr. Big Chest. He keeps throwing the ball at the ground. That's a bad ball. Antonio Brown.
I think I would have paid money out of my pocket to see what it would have been like for him to end up in Buffalo.
Oh my God!
And the dumpster fire that would have been. That would be hysterical. It would be more of a drama series than an NFL team, I think, on the sideline. No one in that coach. I really when I was laughing so hard when I heard that.
He probably would have retired, honestly. Like honestly,
I'd
he
retire
probably
too.
would've retired.
He probably was before the game.
Buffalo. There should be a sign outside that stadium. Buffalo, where careers go to die.
Oh man.
No, that sounds a lot like the Raiders though. The
That's
black
what I'm saying,
hole,
yes.
That's the literal black hole for players.
Best thing Marshawn Lynch ever happened in his career was when he was traded for Buffalo. That is the best thing that ever happened to Marshawn Lynch's
Oh my
career.
goodness.
Where would he be today if he did not play for Seattle, or if he did? Well, even the Raiders.
Stayed with Buffalo.
If he stayed with Buffalo, he would not be nearly. Would not have the recognition nearly that he does today.
Yeah. Even Stephon Gilmore when he left Baltimore.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Buffalo. All pro first team just a year ago.
Oh yes.
It happens.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
don't.
used to
Darby.
I just don't know what's so
Darby, Super Bowl
enticing up there. And not only that, with the taxes that you have in New York State, you're not playing in where the Jets and Giants play, where you're by Manhattan, or you could be obviously they're in Jersey. But to play in Buffalo, I don't understand what's enticing about Buffalo.
Nothing.
Other than maybe, it would. I would take less money, like significantly less money, to play like in California than I would to play up in Buffalo.
I was at that stadium this year for the Dolphins game, and that was the worst stadium I've ever been to.
It's like a college stadium.
Ever.
I will throw him a bone where I do appreciate the fan base. Like I do understand. Like I like the what's the word I'm looking for? They have a lot of heart. They love Buffalo. They embrace Buffalo. They are Buffalo.
The first thing that happened when I got to my seat though, there was this guy that came down. He was in a Thurman Thomas jersey, so I was like, "Wow, nice jersey." And then he had a dolphin on a noose, like a stuffed animal on a noose, and I was like, "Where am I?"
Well, I'm forgetting. They play in Orchard Park, and
It was crazy.
they play in Orchard Park, which is, from what I'm told, is it has the parking lots like around in the general area around it, but most of it's just open fields. And from what we've seen from videos, there's no rules. There's no rules before
there
football
wasn't.
games. They start fires, like not just like big fires. They burn Brady mannequins with jerseys on. They jump off tables, jump off RVs, and it's just insane.
It was weird though. There's like a
True,
nice
I probably
little
would if
town
my
right
team was
there
losing.
though.
In
Like,
Orchard Park.
There was just like streets of like regular houses, and then all of a sudden it's like stadium.
Yeah, I mean that's how Lambeau is. Lambeau's surrounded by suburbs. It's cool, but I know Orchard Park not in Buffalo. It's I think like 20 miles east. But going back to what we're talking about, I don't I don't want to play.
I'm just mesmerized at the fact that you. What has AB done to you?
What has he done to me personally? Nothing. No, it's not AB. It's not AB at all. It's Buffalo.
Oh, you just don't.
I just don't like Buffalo.
And you would want.
I actually like AB. Seems like a fun
okay.
guy. I'm sure he'd be fun. I'm sure if he gets what he wants. It's just I just didn't like how if he's gonna throw Big Ben under the bus, not only what is he gonna do to Josh Allen, but what is he gonna do to Derek Carr? I mean, Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He's not Ben Roethlisberger though.
I would take
Well-
Big Ben all the time.
Yes, but you got to look
I
at.
can understand Big Ben being a little bit of a
Yeah.
jerk to say in the right way because you look at him and you're like that guy kind of looks like
Yeah.
a jerk.
Like it, yeah.
Doesn't look like a happy person, but I can understand that, and maybe that was the drama for years and years and years of just him, kind of like the way Belichick is, just being very stoic and cold. Maybe it kind of turned AB off, and he was sick of it after a while. But Ben is as good as you really can't ask for much more. Beggars can't be choosers when it comes to a situation like that when he was demanded to be traded.
Honestly, yes, I did want him to be on the Colts. I mean, yes, Justin, I want everyone to be on the Colts. I want to win, but.
LeBron to the Colts.
Yep, LeBron and I was about to say KD, but that was a stretch.
Mike Trout to the Colts.
Mike Trout, yes, and Harper. But I honestly wanted to see him play with Aaron Rodgers, low key. That would have been
That dynamic would have
I
never
wanted to
worked.
see that actually.
You wouldn't.
Well,
What?
cap space wise, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, cap
But that
space-wise, but-
dynamic too.
Located in that.
Aaron's personality. I think we all have a pretty good idea of what Aaron's personality is like. I couldn't see that clicking with AB.
No.
I couldn't. Maybe it would work on it would probably work.
On the
Like
field.
they produce, like they put up good
Yeah.
numbers, but I think internally in that locker room and stuff, it would not work.
I mean, you don't have to be like Paul George and Russell Westbrook best buddies, but I mean, as long as they get the job done on the field, that's really what matters. But
I don't believe.
Yeah, but AB and Ben got the job done on the field too. though.
no, No.
Yes, it is.
At the
They
end of the
did
day,
get the job. They did.
At
but
the end
what
of the
did
day, they
like-
put up great numbers, but did they win? Did they win a Super Bowl?
Thank you.
Did Le'Veon, Big Ben, and Antonio Brown? They didn't win a Super Bowl. So in my eyes, those 4 years or 5 years they were together was a complete
Waste.
failure. It was a failure. There's no other way to look at
Yep.
it. And I'm just a believer that you don't need an elite dynamic receiver to win a Super Bowl. You know, I always think back to like people are. I heard this story a lot because OBJ just got sent away from the Giants. But there was a time where they had a wide receiver, Jeremy Shockey, who they traded away, and everybody was in an uproar. Oh, we need him, and they just went back to. And that's how you win football games, is when you have 4 average to good receivers that can play together and get that chemistry. That's how you win championships, I believe. And then the next year, the Giants had that with David Tyree and Plaxico Burress, and there was a few others I'm forgetting. I think
Boss.
Plaxico Burress was a monster that year, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good. I mean, was he ever regarded as like an elite, like an Antonio Brown?
I think around there he was elite. I think he was elite at the time.
Yeah,
and
he
I think he was on the verge, kind of.
Yeah,
He was like there, but like
He was
no one
getting
was
there. He
no
was a
one was
monster.
willing to put.
All right,
him
but
in
then
the top five.
and then jumping forward 4 or however many years it was when they had Victor Cruz,
That was
Mario
average.
Manningham, and Hakeem Nicks. Like those are just 4 just good receivers.
yeah.
And even looking at the Eagles last year with their receivers, with Aguilar and Jeffries, and like you just had good. That's how I believe you win a Super Bowl. I think when you have a dynamic, explosive. We're talking about OBJ, or we're talking about AB, or a few others. Hopkins. I think you don't necessarily need that. I would rather have 4 average to good receivers than an elite star like that and a few mediocre receivers. That's just me. Actually, average is not the right word. I'd rather have 4 just good receivers. Like the year when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl and they had Golden Tate,
We'll never understand.
Baldwin.
Receivers won the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. But
No, they were good.
Those are good
They were
receivers.
good.
but like,
Think about it. They had a lot of speed. They had Golden Tate. They had Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
They even had what's his face? Not
Percy.
just Percy.
He was
Percy
hurt.
Harvin.
He was hurt like those.
He played like 2 games of the Seahawks.
Yeah, but
He
when
ran-
but
he
when
came
he
back in the
but
Super
he
Bowl.
ran the kickback.
Yeah, I mean he made his
in the
money
Super
all in
Bowl.
that play. He made his money in 14 seconds, but his whole contract. But yeah,
They had a lot of.
that's my blueprint for winning for having a championship winning team is when you have receivers like that. I'm not a big fan of the OBJ and the Hopkins and especially guys that are going to make noise. Like Larry Fitzgerald's different because he's a very humbled person that never brings attention to the locker room, and he just does his thing, just puts up numbers. Same with AJ Green, we were talking about before. 2 receivers that I would love to have, especially if they're 5 years younger. But I don't know. That was my take on it.
Well, since you're saying that, I mean, I would think that you would like the Texans because, they have an elite wide receiver who I think is number 2 in the league. But, number 2. I think he's number 2 in the league.
I actually I should take that back. I should take the Hopkins back, if anything, actually, because he doesn't create much of a disruption.
No, he does not. He
doesn't
just
exist.
plays.
Knows how to ball.
He just plays.
Hopkins, I'll take back, but I don't think you need a AB or a Odell Beckham Jr. to win a championship.
Or you don't. You just. It all comes down to just big time players make big time plays. So I feel like if you make big time plays, you're a big time player. So I mean, even like you said, good receivers. And I understand that, but as long as they make big plays, that's all that matters. So you can have someone who makes plays, and you have someone who is elite and don't make plays, or they make plays when they want to. But I don't know. I don't think necessarily OBJ, and hopefully this year proves that I'm right, not wrong again. But but back to what I was saying with Houston, I think. So do you like that dynamic that they have over there? Because they do have a pretty good receiver core. I mean, me personally, I think they have the best receiver core. Well,
they have Fuller and Hopkins, and then Demaryius Thomas is a free agent.
Oh, he's a free agent?
Yeah,
I thought they signed him to 2.
No, he's a free agent. No, they traded for him, and he had 1 year left on his deal, but he tore his Achilles last year.
Yeah.
Another one.
And he's old. I mean, not old, but I think he's 32. I
Yeah,
mean, he's not young. So
yeah.
I don't know what his value is. I mean, if the Colts want to, I'm sure. I know you're going to say
Better
you want him
not.
to the Colts.
No, we better not.
Oh,
Better not do
Colts.
it. No, we better
He's
not.
the type of player though that I would not mind. He would help any roster
Nope.
He's a solid receiver and he's a very good leader.
That'll
And he
be
would help the receiver core.
That will be signing Andre Johnson all over again.
Really?
Yes, because I believe, again, I had my hopes up. We signed Andre Johnson, and I was like, we got the best receiver core in the league. And then Andre Johnson literally
Was 33 years
dropped.
old.
That was his retirement check he took there. He just went there to
Thank you,
have his
Shane.
farewell tour.
Thank you, Shane. He pulled a DVU.
Trust me, many of Jets have done that in my years. Where they've just signed with us just to collect as much money as they can before they just ride off into the sunset. Many Jets. But I think Demaryius Thomas, he's an ideal number 2. I mean, if he can go to a system where he's the second receiver, I don't think he's not a top wide receiver anymore, but if he's in a system where he's a number 2 receiver, he could go back to producing. I could see him getting, close to 1,000 yards and close to double-digit touchdowns.
Okay. Well, before, I mean, I love where this is going, but we got to switch the topic. But before we switch the topic, out of all the signings, the trades, everything, who do you think won the trade and why? We could go down the line. I want to go with you.
Trades and signings?
It's trades and signings, either or.
I don't even know, honestly. I really like the Eric Weddle signing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. To just boost up that secondary there.
The Joyner left, but then they signed Eric Weddle, so
Yeah.
That's
one positive with a positive, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah, pretty much. I would say that one could help him get back.
Me personally,
Or Blake Bortles going to LA.
yeah, I was about to say that. Me personally, I think the best signing that any team did out of the 32 teams that are in the NFL, what Jacksonville did. And yes, I'm going with a divisional rival because honestly, Nick Foles getting money and playing on like just getting that opportunity to start again and be a starting quarterback in the league, I like that, and I loved that Jacksonville made that move. It's just I'm glad they did, but I'm wondering why they waited so late. But still, they made the move, and I think that's a good move. Now, all that they need to do is just basically get some receivers. And who knows? I don't know what their draft pick is, but I mean, there's a certain receiver in the draft this year who is pretty fast, and he's a big target.
Oh, he's a big dude.
And Nick Foles will like. Nick Foles loves big targets. I mean, if you look at his favorite target on the Eagles was Alshon Jeffrey. So I don't know. Maybe they can make some noise. Maybe the AFC South could be like a ooh, we don't know who's coming out the division anymore. So I don't know, but I think that was the best signing / trade, whatever you want to call it.
Remember what happened the last time he left Philly, though?
Yes, I do remember. But
Wasn't
I
good.
think
It
yeah,
wasn't
but
good.
here's the thing, though.
He played for Jeff Fisher.
Yeah,
He played for Jeff Fisher.
He's a different quarterback.
Yards on the season.
I will admit it.
He'll take a step back, but he won't be like
Yeah.
a quarterback under Jeff Fisher. I don't think.
Like I'll admit it. And I know there's some Eagles fans that are watching that will be watching. Nick Foles is not the same Nick Foles that left the Eagles and went to the Rams and played for Jeff Fisher and Andy Reid. He's not that same Nick Foles. You can see a sense of maturity. I mean, you saw a sense of it when he was young, but you really see it now. He looks comfortable, and I think he can bring that to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just a matter of what are they going to do for him? What are the receivers going to do for him? Because we've seen receivers like Westbrook, me personally, I think their best receiver is Dante Moncrief, but he's had an off year. So we don't know what they're going to give him. But again, best sign.
It must give you a sense of comfortability, just knowing going to Jacksonville and being like, okay, regardless of what happens, I'm a legend somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm a legend somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But the thing is, if that makes him too comfortable and thinks I don't think he's the type of personality to say I'm just gonna collect this paycheck and ride off into the sunset. But it doesn't matter. And I think he's going to take a step back performance-wise, but he's still a legend in Philadelphia, and he always will be. So I think that takes a weight off his shoulders. But I think the biggest winner when it comes to a trade is not necessarily the Raiders, but I think Antonio Brown. I think he set the standard now for what top-end wide receivers can do in this league. He literally demanded a trade from the Steelers, which they did. They didn't have to trade him. Demanded it. Steelers realized they had to move on. I don't know if this is to be true, but I have a feeling he had a very high say in where he was going. And not only that, he got basically handpicked where he wanted to go, and the Steelers ended up picking up, I think, 1/3 of the contract. And he's getting full guaranteed money from the Raiders. I think he personally won the trade, not just for himself, but for all wide receivers now, and that's going to be a blueprint going forward for how wide receivers want to be paid in the NFL. I mean, his money's guaranteed. I don't know if it's fully guaranteed, but he has a lot more guaranteed money than he did with the Steelers when the Raiders restructured his contract.
I'm gonna go with one. I'm gonna go with Miami trading away Ryan Tannehill and moving on from him because he was starting to get like Andy Dalton, where it was like this guy is just there and he's not that good, but he's not horrible where you just like can't where you can't be a quarterback. I'm glad they really just made the move and got him off the roster and are completely turning it around. I think that's just gonna help Miami out so much like in the coming years. Just getting that monkey off their back, just starting fresh. Like I think that was a very good trade for the Dolphins.
Miami's tanking this. They're going to lose a lot of games. I think I heard they have their eyes set. They have their eyes set on Alabama's quarterback.
I hope not.
Tua?
I do not want to.
I wasn't even going to. I just said.
You want Tua?
I wasn't going to pronounce his last name.
Tagovailoa or something?
I forgot you're a Miami fan. So who do you want? So what's the answer?
There is no answer. There is no answer.
You better go for Dwayne Haskins.
Why not Tua?
Because I don't like that he's lefty. I hate lefty quarterbacks. I don't know why.
Wasn't Marino a lefty? Oh, that was young.
No, I don't know. I just don't. I also like. I don't know. When it comes to Tua, I feel like I don't know. Bama quarterbacks never really work out in the league.
I think he's different, though.
I don't think he's.
I've watched a lot of Bama quarterbacks over the league, but when you watch him, there's something different about him. The way he's magnificent.
I don't know. And he's also Hawaiian, and the only thing we have like Hawaiian is Marcus Mariota, and Mariota's just like a middle of a packed, injury-prone quarterback.
Oh gosh, I think he's subpar. I think he's below the middle.
There's got to be another good Hawaiian football player out there. I'm trying to think. Really quick.
Not a quarterback though.
Wasn't
I mean, but the world's. I don't know. The world's changing. Hawaiian quarterbacks can be good. You can't just go off Marcus Mariota.
Well, he's the only one that we can compare it to.
Well, he's more. I think he's more accurate than Marcus Mariota. I mean, yeah, he's more of a quarterback. Like Marcus Mariota is an athlete, but he can throw the ball.
I want to go off on a tangent and say Marcus Mariota I don't think is good, but we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time here.
I do not like him.
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good.
So, do you want Kyler Murray?
That's his man's.
That's my
I would take Kyler Murray, but no, I'm a lose for Lawrence. # lose for Lawrence.
That's a long time.
That's a lot of losing.
It's only one season.
No, we can't.
Okay, it's 2 seasons.
That's too much.
I've been losing for 20 years.
Yeah, bro.
That's too
Yeah,
it's like Dan waiting
bro.
for Trout every night, dreaming about it.
Wow, we're just gonna do that. I see some people are mad that we got Harper, so you know.
I'd be mad if I.
It's not that you got Harper; it's that you got cocky when you got Harper. That's why.
You damn.
I'd be mad at 330 for Harper.
I'm not mad because
They gave 430 for Trout. Is this what? Can we?
You know what? Yeah, let's switch it. I'm not mad that we signed Harper for that crazy deal because I feel like we need to act now. We need to act now. I'm tired of seeing my Phillies just not do anything. I'm tired of them just oh yeah, we 4-game winning streak and then we get bombed the next game. And I mean bomb like 10-0. I'm tired of seeing that.
They have good pieces. Also, they added, I don't know, the catcher Real Muto they got from Miami. He's a good player. Like, you have 2 good bats in that lineup now.
And they're a young team, too.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised what happened with Harper, but We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I mean, he had 2 home runs yesterday in a spring traiing game, and that was really his first action. Not his first action, but his first significant at bats as a Philly. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Playoffs, baby.
I'm not gonna lie. The Phillies, they look good. But let's hope Harper doesn't hit 240 again. Just eating $330 million.
That's the Yankees side coming out of him. I see it.
And then talking about Harper's 300. I don't know how you thought. I mean, just looking at, there's no way it was possible that the Phillies could have brought in Trout with the contract he was just getting.
Yeah.
But there's no cap space. They can pay.
Yeah,
there's a luxury tax.
Yeah,
there's a luxury tax that would have.
They would have had to charge $50 for hot dogs.
Yeah, and it would have been bad. And look, can a man dream? I just wanted to dream. I honestly.
This ain't the NBA.
The funny thing is, before Harper came, I had called. I said that Mike Trout was coming, and I thought I didn't see Bryce Harper coming until this past year. But I mean, come on, you can't sit here and tell me that you don't see Mike Trout playing in a Phillies uniform. Like, he was a Phillies fan when he was young. Yes, he's from South Jersey, but he loves the Eagles. He loves the Eagles. He loves the Sixers. He loves freaking cheesesteaks. Like if that doesn't say Philly on it, I don't know what does. But
he probably would have gone there if Bryce Harper didn't get signed.
Well, the good news for
and
Trout,
I would have waited for him instead of Bryce.
Well, the good news for Trout now is when he has the off season, because the Angels aren't making the playoffs for the next 4 years. When he has his off seasons, he can come watch Phillies postseason games, and he can come watch his Sixers, and he can watch his Eagles. While he's making $430 million.
That's all good.
And living in California with no taxes on contracts like that.
It's the good part.
Yeah, but it's
minus the not winning part. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like signing Bryce Harper.
I'm a competitor, and I like to win.
Yeah.
But if someone had $430 million in front of my face and said, "You will never win another baseball game for 12 years," I'd say, "Give me that money." And you live in California, I'd say, "Give me that money."
Give me that money.
They're not gonna, for the organization that the Angels are in their history, it's gonna be very, very difficult to put a team around them when they're paying one person on their payroll that much. $36 million a year.
Didn't they have Josh Hamilton at some point? The Angels?
The Angels?
I thought they had Josh.
Maybe towards the end of his career.
Maybe after his Rangers career.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they had him and Pujols at the same time, though.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I could have sworn Josh Hamilton played. I mean, I know he's retired, but you mean to tell me they didn't win?
Oh yeah, he did go get him.
Yeah, because Josh Hamilton really was that boy. He was nice. They didn't win any
on steroids. Didn't they find him guilty of that?
I think so. Yeah, I think they did.
2015.
Who in baseball doesn't do steroids?
He went to LA for 2013-14, then went back to the
Barry
Texans. Not the Texans, the Rangers.
I'm playing. Oh, yeah, he did. What? Bro, it was a whole case for 5 or 6 years when I was like a kid. Barry Bonds.
That's the only reason why
Everybody juiced up back then. It doesn't matter. Everybody was on steroids.
But
everybody
still got to hit the ball.
Baseball is on steroids.
But again, I like Bryce Harper, and now I get to say, "Ha, I told you so." I didn't get a chance to say that when we signed him.
Listen, if he really if his eyes were set on Philadelphia from the moment free agency started, he would have signed with them a lot quicker. I think there was a few teams that he would rather sign with, but they just didn't offer up the money that Philly did, so he ended up going to Philadelphia. Well, I'm just saying, he's still on the team, so you can rest easy. He's still on the team, so you can rest easy. But I don't think Philly was his top choice. It's a good chance he just fakes an injury for the next 10 years.
Oh gosh.
I'm kidding.
That's all good. Just jinx it. Just jinx your Mets. That's
well, the good news is you play the Mets 24 times a year. So.
I know. So that's all like.
It's like, I don't know. I
But-
kind of like the Mets.
But that's the thing, though. See, even
I like them
against
too,
teams like the
unfortunately.
Mets, we will beat teams like, we will somehow miraculously beat the Yankees and miraculously beat like some other team, and then we play the Mets. Or we play like
division games are different.
Yeah.
I know,
It's
but
all
but like
the Phillies are,
dude,
the thing about the Phillies is that they're a
10-0?
good team. They're just young. That's why that happened to them last
Yeah.
year. They're just so young. You got to give them time. They're a good team. They're talented. They're coming around. They just
And
gotta get
I don't
the
even,
talent.
I couldn't, I'm going to check right now. Stuff
I don't
opening
know
day
who else
tickets.
is on the Phillies pitching staff. I know
Nola.
Aaron Nola,
Yeah, Aaron
and then
Nola. It's another guy. I forgot.
There's like there's someone in the bullpen that throws submarine because I played that guy in the show and I can't hit him. So.
He's tall. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know. His last name is weird. His last name is weird, but he wears like 51 or 50
Those are
something.
the only two,
He
pitchers
throws
I
like
know.
no. He just he's literally a sling. Like he
I can't
slings.
hit it at all.
He throws sidearm. He's weird. He's a tall guy that throws sidearm.
Where
I
are these
never get
opening
it.
day tickets? I guess they're not that expensive.
Oh no, they're not.
Citizens
For who, the Phillies?
Bank.
Yeah.
Parking lots.
There's a game in two.
who are they opening up with?
The Washington Nationals.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
not expensive.
No,
I
it's
say we take a trip.
$14.
$14.
Let's take a trip.
On the
April-
28th.
April 8th is there. I'm just trying to see.
Oh, that's like
No, I think
no,
it's
wait,
the 30th.
I
of the season.
lied.
It's the 30th of March.
I lied.
Because what's the name is
Atlanta Braves, yeah,
Yep.
starting at $17.
It's not bad.
And it's a McDonald's opening night T-shirt giveaway.
They always do.
I would pull up. What you mean? What day is that? Sunday. I could pull up to that. What you mean?
Is that no? That's next Sunday.
yeah.
That surprised me after they signed Bryce Harper. I thought the cheapest ticket would be like $70.
Oh, not yet. Wait till
Man, the Mets rob us.
August. Wait till August.
The Mets pull in like the most mediocre free agents, and then opening day would be like $70 cheapest ticket.
Yeah, my friend's going on opening day. He paid like
Jesus, you
$66.
can get in the lower level for $75.
Oh, that's the Phillies for you.
All right, well,
But yeah, it's again. Yeah, it's a bummer we ain't get Mike Trout, but we got Harper. But anyway,
and we should, and in a few weeks to come, opening day is just around the corner. Spring's here.
Yep.
Saw some tulips poking out today, made me really happy. And we'll be talking about a lot of baseball when the season gets going.
Definitely.
At least for the first few weeks where it's...
Definitely.
And then it kind of gets a little dull for about 4 months in the middle of the season. But it's still fun to watch.
well, since
Good
you're
weather, great baseball.
since you're talking about spring, and it's March, and it's what, March 23rd, I believe.
I know where you're going.
Oh
WNBA.
yeah.
WNBA. Baby.
Of course, obviously. Duh. I mean, come on, man. Like the Los Angeles Stars. Anyway, March Madness is here. The most crazy time of like the year. It's one of the most craziest times of the year is here. Did y'all do brackets?
I didn't.
Year after year after year of just handing away money, I decided this year it's best for
Thank
me and
you.
my
Thank
financial
you.
interest
I
to
did
keep
the
it to
same
myself.
thing.
I just can't do it anymore. I
can't.
can't take the stress anymore.
If I had money, then I would do it for fun, but I just don't even have the money to drop $50
stress
on a
myself.
bracket.
Honestly,
like that.
for real, like I'm tired of picking the wrong Cinderella team and picking the wrong like dominant team that's gonna be there. Like honestly, I'm tired of it. But that's the beauty of March Madness. It's always some type of Cinderella story, and I think this year's gonna be really good.
There was a legit, I saw this on Twitter, I don't know how legit it is, but there was a stat that it is more likely to get hit by a meteor than it is to fill out a perfect bracket. And when the meteor was 1.6, it was like your odds is like 1 in 1.6 billion, and to fill out a bracket was like, it was more than a trillion. I don't even know how to pronounce that number.
Well, it's something that's like the only thing on this planet that has never happened before. Like nobody's ever filled out a perfect bracket for March Madness ever.
It's very, very difficult. Well, I mean, obviously you're not. You're just shooting really to win the bracket challenge amongst your
just
friends,
get them
not
least wrong, basically.
How much would it change your life if you won that bracket?
I mean, you'll go in the Guinness Book.
Definitely. Guinness Book.
No, I'm saying like if you go perfect, I'm saying
Did you get money for that?
like if you go perfect,
You
you
would
go in the Guinness
be.
Book.
You would be that guy. You would be like front
Like-
row at the Final Four, like 95 years old, and it just says below you, like in 2019, won the perfect bracket.
Yes,
And then it's like
you have
oh,
shades on
and then
with
it's like
cane?
for billion since then, and it's just like you just
Yep,
sitting there
this
is
so
like-
old.
It's
and
literally
then you look at
we
models
deem it
around you.
impossible right now. Like it's such a low chance of it happening. We could deem it impossible because it's never actually happened. So like, it's like impossible. It's technically impossible.
It is not technically impossible because it's possible to pick all. It's possible to pick all the right teams.
It's possible to perceive, but it's like it's not gonna happen.
It's possible to do.
It still could, like, it
could happen. It's the possibility. It's just it's a very, very, very small.
It's impossible. Like this is 0.0.
And it's only because basketball is one of the
possible.
hardest games to actually like decide who's going to win.
See, that's why I don't place bets on basketball games like that. Like football games, I got you covered. But basketball, I'm like, yeah, man, place this bet on. I don't know, because any given day, someone can miss. Steph could go 0 for 18 behind the three, and then there goes my money.
I think somebody should just create a machine that makes 64 factorial brackets just so they can get the perfect bracket.
That'd be smart. Well, is there like a computer, like when you I forget when you make a bracket, you know how like you have to like do those things to make sure you're not a computer.
Oh yeah, like
or it's like the weird letters, and it's like type out what this is, or it's like click the 4 images with a bus in it.
Yep, and they make you do it twice because you're like, oh, you didn't get it wrong, or you didn't get it right, and
What if you created a software that
automatically
just made like 14 million brackets?
Oh, you would need more than 14. You would literally need like 1 and 64 zeros at least, because it's 64, and then you would be 64s times 63 times 62, so it would have to be a number that we've never even pronounced before.
No one has ever heard. All right, let's get into the games. We've discussed this enough.
Well,
I mean, there were some good upsets. I know everybody is obsessed over Marquette and their victory over Murray State and their victory over Marquette with
Could have called that.
What was his name?
Morant.
I've never heard of him. Not gonna act like I've heard of him before yesterday. But apparently NBA scouts are drooling over this guy now after his performance, posting a triple-double. And what I liked about him, though, is I think they lost in the tournament last year or they didn't make it. And he tweeted on his account, I was looking at his Twitter the other day, that don't worry, we'll be back next year. And then for the tournament, he pinned that on his Twitter. And it was the tweet from last year. And then with all the hype that came out and all of I'm sure when he got back to the locker room from his game, he completely blew up on his phone. And I like how he tweeted, everyone calm down and relax, I'm not done yet. I think that's cool. And we'll see how they do going forward. It was definitely a really good game. And, I mean, they have a chance. I'll see who they're playing the next round.
I still got Gonzaga. Come on now.
Nope. Gonzaga beat up
FDU.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Riley Dickinson. Come on now. You can't. Gonzaga is always, for the past few years, they've always been that team.
Murray State is playing Florida State tomorrow on TNT at 6:10. And there's a 51%, Bing predicts a 51%, I know Bing doesn't know anything, but 51% chance Florida State wins. So it's
that's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, yeah.
That's going to be a good one. But again, look, Gonzaga has always been that team that's like, all right, we're in the Elite Eight, or we're in the Final Four, or we're there in the national championship, and they just come up short. And I think this year, they're not going to pull the Cincinnati Bengals. They're gonna win. They're gonna make some noise.
Do they have Zion?
Time out. And I'm gonna be perfectly clear. I don't think Duke is gonna win. I think Duke is that team that's like all hype during the regular season, and then when they get to the playoffs, they just fold. Because we saw the same thing. They're not
going to just fold. Maybe they'll fold in the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
But they're not going to fold in the beginning. No, but like,
what would happen if they lost in the first round? Like, what would the universe do?
I think the universe should just quit.
Oh yeah.
Give everyone their money back and just take down their facilities.
I think there would be one crazy bettor out there that would.
They're playing North Dakota State tonight at 7:10.
North Dakota State suit up Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah, Duke is definitely going to win that. But when I look at Duke, and yes, even though Duke has the better team and the better players, I see UCLA when Lonzo Ball was in there, and all the hype that we have with Lonzo Ball.
They're a different team.
They are a different team, but I don't.
Two superstars.
They do, but I'm not sold. Like I'm sold on them in the regular season. They got me. They sold the mess out of me. But when it comes to March Madness, it's a totally different ball game. And like we said, anything can happen. So it's
not a repeat of 2015. when they won with 3 freshmen.
Nope.
It was 3. But
Nope. And that was with Jalil Okafor.
Jalil, Tyus Jones.
And, wasn't it Julius
Winslow, yeah.
Yep, and nope. I said yep, but I'm saying nope now.
Didn't they lose?
No, they won.
No, they won it.
They won.
Wisconsin.
No, they beat.
No, that was Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky lost to Wisconsin.
And who was the big man Kentucky had? Not Embiid.
Carl Johnson.
No, they didn't have Carl. They had Wally Cauley-Steins.
Oh no, you're right. Duke did win. They beat Wisconsin. That's what it was. I don't know why that was reversed in my head.
That was a team with Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker. That team was really good.
Oh, I forgot about Sam Decker.
But I don't think.
Yeah, I did forget about Sam Decker.
Man, Sam Decker.
That guy.
He's on Washington because he came to the Cavaliers and he did pretty well. He actually crossed over Jason Tatum. Yeah, he was on the Cavs for like
easy to do.
15.
No.
Not for him. He doesn't have handles like that.
I'm
but
kidding. And then Kaminsky, is he still on the Hornets?
yeah, he's a bust.
They don't
He
let
was
him
never
play.
even supposed to be that good.
They play Cody Zeller over him.
Cody Zeller.
He's a rebounder.
So is Kaminsky. He's Frank the Tank.
Yeah, but he no. He was Frank the Tank in Wisconsin.
Yeah, he
Not gonna
lost
lie,
his
he lost his tank. He was really good.
He's
But again, I'm not sold on Duke winning the whole thing. They'll go to the Elite Eight easily.
So you think North Dakota State has it tonight against Duke?
No.
It's going to be
Come on
an
now.
all ACC Final Four.
Wow. And who do you think is gonna win?
Buffalo's a
Duke,
6
Florida
seed.
State,
Talk about
UNC,
Buffalo.
Virginia.
And who do you think is gonna come out on top?
UNC.
Oh my gosh.
They're coming out.
UNC?
I mean, it happens every year, so why would you not?
Nah.
Not
Their
every year,
kryptonite.
but
Their
UNC 's
kryptonite.
always in LA.
Their kryptonite is Villanova. I honestly don't think. I think UNC will make it, but I got Gonzaga. I can't overlook what they do, and I think this year is their year. Honestly, I think Duke is overrated. Yes, RJ is really good. Some people may take RJ over Zion. Me personally, I was just talking to somebody today about it. If the draft was today and we had the first pick, I change it. I wouldn't take Zion. I'm looking at durability and I'm looking at like what can you do for me in 10 years or in 5 years. I'm taking RJ, but I really don't see them. I see them making noise, but I also see them being quiet later down.
A lot of people think, not a lot of people, but there's a big figure in New York sports radio that thinks Zion's not going to translate to the NBA game like a lot of people think he will because he's too small to play the 4 or the 5. And apparently he's not good enough with handles to play to play point or guard. But when you look at his 3-point percentage, he's shooting 31.5% behind the arc. I mean, he could shoot threes. I mean, is he a player that's going to pull up from 3 10 times a game? No. But I mean, he can shoot threes. I'm really curious.
It's falsical logic because he's an athlete. Like it's just his athletic makeup.
But he's only 6'8". He's only 6'8" when your average NBA center or power forward's like 6'10". But my bounce back to that is, yeah, but he can jump 2 feet in the air, or 6 feet in the air. Like he could make that up in his vertical. I don't know.
Exactly.
I see an athlete like that. I see a man that big and who can move with all that weight moving that fast and can jump that high. I cannot see him not being at the very least, just a good player in the NBA.
To me, I see like they said the same thing about Draymond Green.
Hold on, but Draymond Green, I saw the pictures of him in the tournament. He was fat. he was pretty big in college though.
He was.
I get that. He wasn't like muscle. He was like
Draymond.
Well, yeah, but still,
Draymond fat.
I think to compare Draymond to Zion is a little.
It's not. No. It's not. No. I don't mean the type of play, but I mean the stature. Like they're almost the same. They're the same height.
I would say Zion.
Is bigger.
Can move better than Draymond.
Yeah, he can.
He's got a little chub to him.
A little chub.
He can, but I don't think. I think they can put Zion at the excuse me, at the 4. Because if you look at, again, I'll say Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson came in, and first off, in college, he played power forward and small forward.
Tristan Thompson's also 7 foot tall.
No, he's not. He's 6'9".
He's 6'9"?
He's 6'9". He's not tall.
I thought he was like 6'11".
It's all, at the end of the day, it's all, when it comes to basketball, you could be the biggest guy on the court and still not get a darn rebound. Because at the end, because it all is all about body control and how you move your body and boxing out.
That's rebounding though, but we're talking about the best player in college basketball right now, and then you're just saying Tristan Thompson. Like if Zion came out and had Tristan Thompson's career, that would be a colossal disappointment.
Well, yeah.
If he had Draymond Green's career, that would be a colossal disappointment.
Well, I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing.
Later though.
Yeah, but I'm not comparing.
Yeah, but Draymond's not running a team by himself.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm not comparing the playing styles. I'm comparing the stature. So for them to say that he's too small to play the 4 and the 5, whoever said that, they should watch more basketball, because if you look at today's basketball, you see a lot of small lineups.
Yeah.
The Warriors are known for doing that small lineup. Yeah. And even before, obviously they're not going to do it like that anymore because they got Boogie. But before, they had Draymond Green at the 5. It don't matter, and he played against Boogie, who's 7 foot. So I don't think. I mean, obviously you'd be a fool to put Zion at the 5. But I mean, it's risky. But you could put him at the 4. Heck, to be honest, he can play the 3. He can exactly. That's what I'm saying. People just forgot about the 3.
He's not Draymond Green in the sense he can move. He has dribble skills. He could get past people, especially with that size. I mean, I don't understand the logic. He's too small. He can play the 3.
Yes.
He can play with. He can. Like I said, he shoots over 30% behind the arc.
Exactly.
He's not. It's not like he's no good.
Yeah.
30 or 40 feet from the hoop.
And the shot is something you can develop. Like we've seen players develop a shot.
Yes,
When Kawhi Leonard first came in the league, he couldn't really shoot.
Blake Griffin. If you look up how Blake Griffin's shooting now, he's shooting threes well.
Exactly.
And he does them regularly.
You have to adapt. I mean, it's a given. You're gonna have to develop a jump shot in today's NBA, especially in today's NBA with how everybody shoots the ball anyway. So.
At the end of the day, though, when obviously you're a Cavs fan and I'm a Knicks fan, so you're gonna have the 1, I'm gonna have the 2, or I'm gonna have the 1, and you're gonna have the 2. But actually, no, the Knicks will probably have the 3. But if I walk away with Zion, either one of those players from Duke, I'm happy.
Yeah, likewise. I'm not upset with it.
And then this Jod, how do you pronounce his last name?
Morant, maybe.
Morant, and he's shaping out like we always say, heroes are born or legends are born in March. So he could be potentially top 3 pick the way he played yesterday and the way that I saw the whole internet blow up over him. That he can move. He's got some good athleticism. He's got some good handles, and he can make shots too. So
yeah, this March Madness is going to be crazy. Well, every March Madness is really crazy. But again,
March
Madness March. But yeah, okay? To end the segment, I said Gonzaga is going to win the whole thing. I'm sticking by my word, and I accept it. So, who do y'all think is going to win the championship?
I think it would be. Going back to colossal. I think it'd be colossal failure if Duke doesn't win at all. I think if you look back, especially when we see the NBA career that RJ and Zion are about to have, or not about to have, but could have, we could be 5 years from now looking back damn, how did they not win the titles with those 2 guys on their team? So I think I'm gonna pick Duke because I think they're gonna win it. Unless Zion busts a sneaker again. Is he wearing Adidas on the court yesterday? Or?
No, they manufactured
I remember. Yeah, they made a special shoe.
He better not wear Adidas when Nike is sponsoring that team. What?
Well, they manufactured a special. I forgot about that. I did hear about that shoe for him. He's just too much of a man for a Nike sneaker. He's just. Yeah,
they asked him when he came back. Yeah, how are your Kyrie? He's like, they were good. I was cracking up.
Imagine how much that shoe costs. When it's all said and done after this tournament. Nice signature on that. They won it all. All right, so
you say Duke.
I say Duke also because nobody's beating Duke. But
I say UNC, but it's Duke and UNC in the final. We're getting to round 4.
Round 4, yeah, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
When's the last time they played? In the
semifinal. In the ACC semifinal.
No, in the tournament.
Oh, in the tournament?
Did they play last year?
No, it was a couple years ago, 4.
I have no idea.
That'll be crazy. All right, so I think that's it for today.
Yeah, I think that's
Got
it.
some good
yeah,
stuff
we
here.
covered a lot. Covered a lot today. Again, thank you for watching. We back. Like I said, we're back. We're going to be here next week, next Friday, for another episode. Again, I'm your host, Dan Corbett. Tommy, Shane, Justin, in the words of Shannon Sharp, we out.
Stay classy.
This ain't no intro, this the entree. Hit that intro with Kanye, I sound like Andre. Tryna turn my baby mama to my fiance. She like music, she from Houston, like Auntie Beyonce. Man, my daughter couldn't have a better mother. If she ever find another, he better love her. Man, I swear my life is perfect, I can merge it. If I die, I'll probably cry in my own